What a nice background sound. Krasno, kaj, a vsi govorite slovensko? So anyone that doesn't speak Slovenian, that doesn't understand Slovenian, fine, okay. So Slovenians are known as a very plural nation, so do the Slovenians agree that we do this in English? No? Yes? Okay, of course. Good. Because I can do it in either. But the good thing is that the stuff that is written, the scientific stuff is in English anyway, so no need to translate then. So that's us, right? Okie dokie. Yeah, thanks KIBLIX for having me over. I developed this little performance lecture concept just for the time and the space here. The time is the time when we yesterday signed a letter of intent to build a network for research art, or network of centers for research-based art. The time is such that art education, or education in art, education is becoming art, but then again, art education is in a quite a big turn, I think, all over the place. The place is such that here in Maribor, for instance, you have the Transnational Guerrilla Art School. Here in Maribor, you have we have the University of Maribor, the Faculty of Educational Sciences Fine Arts Department that does intermedia art as a course. You have many formal and non-formal and informal kinds and forms of education processes, like beautiful DIY Arduino workshops happening all around the gallery, the place. So the place and the space is such. Well, I come from the School of Arts, Akademija umetnosti, University of Nova Gorica, and well, our core business, if you want, is teaching art. But also, teaching can be art, to teach art in a way that is artistic in itself. Such and similar thoughts I want to share with you in the next half an hour, or it might get 40 minutes because it will also depend on your feedback, input, white on black, as we are used in educational settings, right? Traditional settings. This is chalk. This is chalk. Well, flipping through just some of the things. This is from a book that we published from a project of 4 universities that 3 or 4 years ago developed a joint master program in the arts with many avant-garde ambitions, doing something new, something real, something relevant in terms of an art study program on master level, serious stuff, formal education. And this is what I think boils down to. And you might read, you might listen, I will not be reading this out. I just, that stuff from the book that I co-edited, and all the rest of the stuff is from my articles, which are scientific articles, primarily on pedagogy, and if you're interested, they are referenced later on. I can send you stuff just in case they are copyright in some international science journals, and they're not open access, but most of them are. So you can also get to them later on. And I just, when I prepared this, I just went through it. I just went through the last 6 or 7 years of thinking about education and art, and trying to make sense of it, trying to make scientific sense of it, or professional sense if you want, while teaching art, while being taught by my colleagues, by students, by artists, how to teach or mediatize, really, transfer art and transform not only students but also myself, ourselves, as I believe teachers as well should be and are transformed while teaching. And this is definitely a mutual process of both left and right brain hemispheres, if you want. Yeah. I'm just going to throw, right now things are being thrown at you on visual level and on audio level. I will mention some things that I think or thought were important. However, much more important things might emerge from what we will later on jointly scribble onto blackboards. We did a lot of, we really believed in this site-specific, keyword, myth. Want to do site-specific. What is site-specific? When things matter for a social or for a natural or for a physical environment, they're said to be site-specific, and we thought we could teach, we thought we could do site-specific workshops for students, so we took them around the region to islands and to cities and to empty places, and tried to work on methodologies that would increase this impact and inform and enforce their transformation into artists, because this is what we believe in art schools. We believe we can transform or help or be a part of transformation of people into artists or into better artists or into different kinds of artists. A successful marriage between academia and the real world might be brought about especially by interdisciplinary collaborations, we found, if those collaborations are conducted in a well-orchestrated and inclusive way, fostering a collective spirit and practice of participation within an individualist mainstream of social values. And how to do that? We found, my background is also in communicative social research, so I was particularly focused on the way we communicated, the way we collaborated, finding that different cultural and especially professional practices, different practices and languages should be gradually tuned onto understanding each other's positions and practices or default practices. Some of our practices are default, some we learn, and some we teach after we've learned them. Encouraging each other to embrace foreign and not yet experienced ways of working, thinking, and communicating. We believe, or I believe, and at the end of the day, I even managed to prove, as you see, this is a summary of an article, that aesthetical and ethical change is well possible within a culturally reflected art pedagogy production. So it's a pedagogy, it's a teaching and learning process that is paired, involved, and entangled with production, with the doing of art. We're a very practice-oriented art school, so our students mostly do art while they learn art and about art. There is a very relatively low share of pure theory, if you want, or pure criticism or pure history. And it's based mostly on practice, and so it is in the course. I teach the new media course, or lead the new media career module, as we call it. And that can materialize a collective and meaningful impact on a specific site and its social tissue. So moreover, not only transforming students, but if we do really well-entangled pedagogical productional practice, then we also change social tissue, the worlds within which we act. And for that we bring, and it proved through scientific research, that we have to bring students out into the world, outside. So we do a lot of courses outside of school, and we mix and mingle and introduce teachers, mentors who are not professional teachers, but are just practicing artists, or not only artists, scientists, normal people, practitioners. Well, it boils down to collaboration with local stakeholders. This needs to secure a safe enough approach and guarantee specific benefits for all stakeholders, as they are called. You have to be really careful about this interdisciplinary, and that's now an overall buzzword, and we're here in an intermedia kind of so-called in Slovenian intermedia context, where interdisciplinary work is default. But once you study it really deeply, you find that very often people think they speak the same language and they understand each other, but they don't. And this comes to very generic things like speaking about emotions about each other, or communication problems, and also about hard tech specific stuff, because and we mostly use English, right, because it's an international environment with very different levels of mastering English as a language. And I speak this as one of my ex-careers is professor of English, so I'm trying to reflect that as well. The learning designs of such courses must find the right blend of online and offline learning, because you usually travel, you usually use social media, you usually upload, download stuff, backup stuff. You don't find yourself in the same space usually when you work, especially with digital media, especially if you work on sites with real people, with real locations. And the fourth point that we found that it boiled down to be really important is feedback. Students badly need feedback. We need feedback. I will need your feedback much more than we sometimes believe we do. And students really need proper feedback, not just grades and stuff, but really written and spoken words to be able to reflect their own practice in terms of participatory emancipation, if you want. So I think it all circles, like for me personally, it circles about this academic and artistic response to burning societal issues, even though l'art pour l'art, the arts for the art's sake, is just as fine in academic settings. And that's what I started with. So let me quote it: by promoting art through art and while implementing art and artistic research in education, we can contribute to the artistic experiment as one of the most significant and perhaps underused methods in teaching. That's what we came up with Lara Badurina, a professor from the Rijeka Academy of Applied Arts. Sometimes I think I just don't need to read. I just marked out some things for you. Quite obviously, isn't it? It's really interesting that you find that the academic, the educational process can protect, compromise public spaces, can recreate great identities. I mean, it's all proven. That's now abstract words, but that's what we do. That's what happens. And if you want to read how it happens, and it's all case-based, you can read the tens and tens of pages of articles that I will refer to later on, and they are then referred in the other writings. But this performative setup is not meant to be primarily a lecture, so this is kind of a travesty of a lecture right now, which is slowly fading. And you will find that I strongly believe in media ecology and the ecological systemic paradigm, which needs to be understood, especially when speaking about education, but probably, arguably, also when speaking about art. These things are very complex systems, and humanity, mankind has already developed tools of how to understand complex systems. I found it in ecology or systemic theory, if you want. So that's just the 4 articles that my recent 4 articles that this stuff was taken out from for this occasion, and you can find it. You can just drop me a line, but not at art@blackbox.edu, right? You know that's not a... By the way, why did I change, why did I use the educational domain? You know the story about the .edu domain, the edu domain? It's American. You have to be an American educational institution to be allowed to have it. Before 2001, anyone could have it. After 2001, when the world was advancing, especially in the internet, you were not allowed to get an edu domain if you were not an American accredited educational institution. That's why I am streaming this through an American live video server. Rightio. I just want to, but still I'm serious about this address. So I will kindly ask you to write a little, letter or email if you want to be more contemporary, to art@blackbox.edu, whatever is inside this black box. So you have here nice prepared black boards, black papers. They have flaps. So that's the inside, obviously, right? The flaps are on the inside. So the outside, this side, with flaps down, is the subject line, okay? So I want you to write the subject of what you would write to art@blackbox.edu. The question is what you think that the discussion about art education or education art should be about, okay? So this is the subject line. And good subjects, you know, in emailing, they have 2 words maximum, right? 3 words is already like uncool, right? And the inside is for the body of the message. And let's be 21st century, let's be post-Twitter, right? You can do in 14 characters, you don't need 140, okay? So I give you 14 characters for the body message, right? So it's the subject and the body message sent out to art@blackbox.edu. It's a creative exercise, obviously. So you can even break chocks. You can share chocks. Chocks are breakable. They're beautiful old media. So, and you should share these sheets. So I want many. Sorry, I didn't give you a chalk. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyone else? I mean, I've only got 6 because this is the. There you go. Thanks. But do pass it on, please. Do pass it on. Because we want as many responses. But as you can see, things are small, so write in a small font, please, like a 14 to 16 font, right? Good. So I have one more. One more. Who would bother? No? Who wouldn't bother? He's already online. And then just pass it on. Okay. So the question is again, and I've got more chalks really, so if you just volunteer, these guys need 2 chalks at least. So just pass on the subject, so what the discussion should be about. So it's like kind of keywords. I want your keywords or your, yeah. What's the subject of this letter to art@blackbox.edu? And then inside the flaps, what is the body of the message, as it is called? What is the content? 2 words, 3 words, 14 characters. Oh, you can also draw something. It's not purely verbal. I know I was throwing a lot of text at you, but you can also draw. But try not to use the whole space, because you want to share it with others a little bit. And I give you not much, a minute. You can tweet. No, it's not yours. You should share it. You should pass it at least once. And leave space. Leave space for others, please. Yes, leave space for others. And it should travel a little bit. You can also spill red wine on it. It's fine, but... Two? Oh, waste of wine. I hope it's not a waste of chalk. So, yeah. Well, I'll be your beautiful assistant. There's no point eating chalk. Yeah, I just had some chalk last week. So, yeah, I need to just share this thing. You just have to give it to people. Yeah, I mean, you can even respond, but you have to know that this is a black box. Like, obviously, after 12 intensive years in education, I still call it a black box. At least partially, you never know what's inside. But tonight, I promise you, you will know what is inside the black box. You will know what is inside the blackbox.edu. Just share the stuff around. Yeah, you can share it on this. Oh, that's it. There's a shareable thing. Yeah, just give it to people. So you should know. I mean, you were all in schools, or are still in schools, or have children in schools. We believe, like we do schools, so we really believe education is important. And we also believe art is important. So I think we can agree on that it is worth articulating it in 2 words or 3 words. So what matters? What should we speak about, discuss about? And on the inside, what is the message, the truth, the content? Should we share on? I just lost track. There are 6. I can't afford to get only 5 back, so okay. I mean, it's really participative. It's this event was advertised as a participative lecture, so this means that you participate. Right. I can see sparks now. You know, now I feel like like the teacher that sees sparks in students' eyes. It's one of the great moments of your life as a teacher when it happens. It just happened. Oh, God. Yes, no censorship. Just let yourself loose. No censorship. No censorship. You already did it. You did it. No, not yet. Yeah. One more time. Look, they want to do it again and again and again. But I can't afford more than 30 seconds because, yeah, thanks, okay. So we're getting things back. Good. Okay. But I mean, we are in media art context again, so we need some good old duct tape, right? I love the fact that in India there is this trend in art, in media art schools, that they do courses that have basically one really strict rule: no duct tape. Yeah, this is a major trend. But I just... Who? Oh, Indians, they have loads of duct tape. Huh? I think because they just, most of their installations in the first 3 years of studies, they're just basically duct tape. I think that, yeah, that's. Wow, one broken chalk. That's a good thing. I hope it was for love, not for hate. Oh, I need one. Oh no, I have 6. Good, thanks. Because I've got work to do. It won't last long, but I still want to. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sorry. Trying to sell me some stuff. Okay. Just a moment. Go. Yeah, the black box of the computer, you really get disenchanted. Now you want this sound, right? You want this sound. Ah, huh? It's like, you see, you're associated with something good, like it feels good. Duct tape is really like something that makes you feel secure again. Like, this must attract people who got lost in the gallery, you know. They just want. It's like the mating call of a media artist. Unbelievable. Who wrote People? Who wrote People? Somebody wrote People. You? I just had to duct tape it because otherwise it wouldn't work. So People is censored. Sorry, I mean it's okay, it's here. See? Well, no censorship while writing, but now it's dissemination time, and when things are disseminated, they get. Yeah. Well, you know, rules change, times change, presidents change. Times change, yeah. What, I'm like Trump? No, I didn't have, I can't. According to what? Changing of rules according to changing of situation. Well, in a way, you're right because it's a performance, and you never know. You never do. You never know. Right. It's kind of a censorship. But you know, if I say box, I do box, okay? So it's promised. Promise? Promise. May I quote you? Box is a black box is a black box. When it's a black box, everything gets lost in a black box. That's quoting the lady. Oh, sorry, yeah. Now you got me confused, you see. You got me confused. I lost my concept. I was just trying to make you feel optimistic that it is becoming a black box. That's all, you know. Yeah, yeah. You know, men are bad in multitasking, you know that. Uh, we're getting somewhere. Hmm? You want me to make a little hole in it? I will. I will if you want me. Camera obscura. Might be doable. Yeah, yeah. We had to, you know, I said it's a if it's a performance inside. May I censor this? Mhm. White box is a gallery. Well, the walls. Yeah. Yeah. May I quote you again? Uh, you hang all the black paintings into a. Oh, they did hang all the black paintings into a. So, what do you think is the new black? Well, I think it's. Hmm? Well, it might be. It might be chalk white. The new black is chalk white. Indeed, nothing is completely white and nothing is completely black. It's a fact. It's hard to see. It's like this is probably the best perspective. Hack the box. You've got a knife. You said you want me to make a hole in it. Wait a minute. I think I have a knife. I think I do. There you go. This must attract all the others who are not attracted by the duct tape. The tinkers. This is the tinker mating call. So let's look what inside. This is what's inside, okay? No. Who's there? This box is quite wanky. It is an educational box. Yeah. So I'm gonna share this with you. Are you sharing? Share it, share it, share it. You should be. Yeah. Should I cut in too loud? Yeah, fuck. Yeah, it's fucking. Yeah, but that's too complicated. I don't think I have the tools. See, it's inside. It's obscure. I do agree. It's quite obscure. Sculpture, no. I mean, look what a wanky box this is. You can, right? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Only you know that. I think you should try again. Yeah. Should- No. Wow, she said, I paid for this course and I'm not getting anything out of it.